Hey everyone, Sam the Miracle Man here. Let's go create some miracles. So when I was very sick, I was very sick, and I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was dealing with multiple sclerosis, chronic fatigue from the heat, needed a cane because my whole left side coordination was gone and my balance wasn't so great, so I had my cane. And then I had all these other issues like psoriasis on a third of my body. You can see it's nice and clear now. That I had these chronic migraines. Even had my psoriasis going to my joints, so I had psoriatic arthritis. Then all these chronic migraines, and then bipolar in my 20s. I was suicidal. Life was an adventure for me, an adventure of being sick. But I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, but I had no idea what I could do. I followed my doctor's instructions, took my medicine, did all the normal things, seeing my frequent appointments, all of that stuff, but I was still getting worse. It was like my health was just on a continuous decline as the years progressed. But I did try to live a normal life to the best of my ability. I even had a multiple sclerosis walk team called Team Determination. I was determined to live a normal life. And I did my best with that, but I still watched a lot of TV from the chronic fatigue. But one of the things I used to watch was ghost hunting shows. I didn't know if it was real or fake. It was just entertaining. So I saw a tweet from one of these ghost hunters, Chris Williams. I said, oh, I can go to this event. So it was down at Fort Mifflin in Philadelphia. And I talk about this, in my books. That it was so I eventually put all my stuff on. And when the time the event came, got a hotel room near the place. Because I know driving late at night just wasn't going to work. Driving in general wasn't my favorite activity because my eyesight wasn't that great from the multiple sclerosis. It was to the point where I could only read a little bit before I would get a migraine. So it was a real challenge to live. So anyway, I went to this ghost hunting event. And first of all, it was kind of boring for me the first, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes of sitting there in the casemates. Nothing was really happening until somebody put out their flashlight. And they said, turn this flashlight on. And it came on. Turn this flashlight off, and it went off. So this is going back and forth. But I was like, wait, that's their flashlight. So I put out my flashlight, and it was doing the same thing. So I thought, that's interesting. There's something here. Something's going on with the flashlights. Then I was sitting on this bench, I guess you can call it, in the casemates. And I felt like somebody sat next to me that I couldn't see. That was odd. Then I just felt this overwhelming sense of dread, this heavy dread feeling. So that's pretty much my experience that night, but it was just, I didn't see it as entertainment. I was just curious, okay, what did I experience? I saw flashlights going off, on and off by themselves. I felt the sense of dread, feeling somebody sitting next to me I could not see. What was going on? So I started to read some books. So just reading some books, trying to understand, but I was reading very slowly because of migraines. But all in all, I didn't have any grand plan to heal myself. I was just trying to enjoy life. So I was reading these books. And, reading one book after another very, very slowly, a couple of months to read a book. Well, then I got a hold of this one book that talked about meditation. Didn't really describe too much about meditation. It was from a medium that talked about how they use meditation to raise their vibration, I think they were talking about, to speak to the spirits. So when they were talking about meditation, I think it was really 2 pages they talked about meditation, the benefits of meditation. They had a paragraph on benefits and about a paragraph on how to meditate. And basically the rest of it was their benefits that they saw from meditation. But what I really resonate with when they talk about all the benefits of meditation, one of the things that just stuck out at me, just grabbed me, if you will, was inner peace. One of the benefits of meditation was inner peace. I knew instantly that's what I needed. I needed inner peace. I had no idea that peace would lead to healing. Because I didn't have this grand plan. I didn't try to logic it out. Because that would have been too big of a step for the mind anyway. I had these 5 diseases, needed a cane, medicine, all these kind of issues. Then if you told my mind, we're getting rid of all that stuff. Oh, and we're doing that within 2 years. The mind couldn't have really grasped that concept. It was too big of a leap. So I just started a simple meditation practice, 5 minutes a day. But I was in the belief that meditation means that you stop thinking. So when the first 2 weeks of meditation was like, the mind would get busy, which it does, and be like, stop thinking. So it actually ended up being a thought chasing a thought. So I was like in this hamster wheel, but didn't know it. Because I never had a teacher or anything like that. I just tried to figure this out on my own. So the only thing I did learn to realize, after 2 weeks of this rat race, I was doing my own mind, stop thinking, just keeping that loop going. Then roughly 2 weeks later, I had the insight to be like, that's a thought chasing a thought. And knowing that I have thoughts, but I'm not my thoughts. Think about that. You have thoughts, but you are not your thoughts. So that was my realization in 2 weeks. So after that, chasing thoughts, when the mind would get busy, I would just come back to like, where are my feet? Just coming back to where are my feet? I didn't really know at that time that I was training myself to be present in this moment. Because if you're up here in your thoughts, your beliefs, your opinions, you're not here in this moment. You're either in the past or thinking about the future. So those realizations is what I had. Then about 3 months later, 2-3 months later, I was just sitting one day after meditation. I was doing my journaling practice. I still write to this day. Just a few pages or a few lines, really not too much. But then I was just sitting there getting ready to write, and I just heard this intuitive voice. I don't know if it was an actual physical voice or it was a voice from spirit, my inspiration, if you will, just saying to me, perfect spirit. Then I was like, that's it. The real me is a perfect spirit. And if that came in earlier, then it would have been to my doctor saying, hey doc, I'm hearing voices now, and they would have given me more medicine, and it just wouldn't have been good, more medicine. I was already taking so many pills a day, like 28 or 30 pills a day with a daily injectable. It was a mess. I really didn't want to take any more pills. So I just heard his insight, perfect spirit. And I realized, you're a perfect spirit, I'm a perfect spirit. Everyone we see is a perfect spirit, which is consciousness. We're all consciousness. Then when I heard the voice, perfect spirit, I simply knew it was all over, that my health issues were done. But I didn't know that. I just had that feeling that all is well, a deep sense of feeling that night that all is well. The mind got fairly quiet. It was still active a little bit, but I didn't react or respond to the mind anymore, because I knew the real me was a perfect spirit. I wasn't my thoughts, my beliefs, my opinions, all that stuff that I call head trash were not that. So that's why I see today, when we get rid of the head trash, we have this natural ability to create miracles. But the peace has to come first. You can't have true healing without inner peace. This is why you're in the hospital. They want you to get home as soon as possible, because they know the hospital is very stressful, a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry in the hospital. If you get home, you can relax, get some peace, then the body can start to mend and heal itself. So the whole thing for transformation is peace, and peace is the source of miracles. So when I heard that voice, perfect spirit, my mind was quiet. I was just following my intuitive insights at that time. They didn't give me like 5-6 steps. It's like, here's the next step. Here's the next step. So that night, I began to taper one of my medicines. I don't suggest this for everyone, but I just had this deep knowing that it was time to cut back this one medicine. So I did cut back that one medicine. So very slowly, so within 2 weeks, I was no longer taking that medicine. Then I reflected back on how my body's doing without the medicine. I didn't notice any changes. So I kept doing that process of decreasing the medicine one at a time and noticing what was going on in the body. What I was noticing was my mind was getting clearer. I wasn't as fatigued. I wasn't as dragged down. But I also had the insights to go start a yoga practice. And I did that as well. In the beginning, if my mind had control, it would have said, you can't do yoga, because my balance was terrible. But yet I persisted. And it was really interesting with yoga. If I kept myself in this moment, I was fine. But as soon as I lost focus, I would get tipsy and feel like it was about to fall over. And sometimes I would. But it just reminded me to stay present, because all of our power is here in the present moment. Anytime you leave the present moment, you're diminishing your power. So it's really important to keep focus. So keep yourself, learn who you are, this perfect spirit. Do everything you can to stay in this moment. When the mind gets busy, and it will, start asking yourself, where are my feet? Where are my hands? What do I hear? And just keep yourself back here. So I was going through this process of cutting back my medicine, doing yoga, and I was feeling better and better as time went on. And then I was starting to see less doctors. Because sometimes I would go to a doctor and they weren't very supportive about me cutting back my medicine. It's like, but I just had this sense, I can't explain it, just this deep knowing that all is well. Keep going. Keep taking that one step. So I was following my own recipe, my own path forward. So roughly in about 16, 17 months, I was no longer on any medicine. I wasn't using my cane, didn't need a cooling vest. My whole body was coming back into harmony because there was no more stress. I wasn't stressed out anymore. I wasn't overwhelmed with life. I wasn't worried about life. I wasn't anxious about life. I was just taking these slow daily steps. And I remember one evening, it was the last day of November 2012. Last day of November 2012. I just did yoga one night. But during yoga, I felt something strange, if you will. My feet were up in the air doing this inversion posture. And I just felt this energy from my middle of the back, working my way up and out through the feet. I thought that was unusual. I didn't really give it any thought. So December 1st, 2012, I had this profound experience. Wherever I looked, there I was. It was like the me, Sam, was like gone. And wherever I looked, there I was. So that lasted for about 2 weeks when I merged into this state of oneness. So at that time, just to go back a little bit, because that's when the Kundalini energy, I was part of the Kundalini awakening I was going through. But I'm not really going to talk about that too. But I just had this insight one day in 2012. No, actually it was in end of 2011. I had this insight to just do this Kundalini meditation, this chakra opening meditation. So I was just following my insights, marching to my own drummer. And that's what I suggest to everyone, is march to your own drummer. So I was marching to my own drummer, and I had this Kundalini awakening. Then December 1st, 2012, I was completely, one with everything. It was really hard to function, if you will. And that lasted for roughly 2 weeks. The 2 weeks of an odd state. Like when I had to go drive my car, it felt like I was the car driving. It was just a really unusual experience. And I had a lot of unusual mystical experiences. And I still have them today. I pull cards, I can do mediumship. It's just sort of, these gifts are there for everyone if we simply get the head trash out of the way and know ourselves as spirit, as a perfect spirit. Then life just opens up in ways you can't imagine. So I haven't shared my healing journey in a while, but I never had a spiritual teacher. I just followed my own insights. So just follow your own insights. So I'm really here on this channel for you to create that miracle, to let go of that head trash. So go back, listen to my meditations, listen to my talks, and listen with your soul, if you will, your spirit, and not try to logic it out. Because this overthinking gets you into trouble. But it's really about resting and trusting your insights. Alright, that's all I have to share for today. Take good care of yourself. Let me know where I can help you. You can find me on my website, Head Trash Anonymous. You can find me on Facebook pages. I read all the comments on my YouTube. I try to respond to to everyone. I'm here to help you. I have my healing journey. I know how to create miracles. Another miracle was, now I'm living in New York City. I was going to speak at a conference, but I was like, I don't want to put, the Philadelphia where I was living on the business card. It didn't feel right to me. So I put, Astoria, New York in the business card. And 6 months later, I'm living in Astoria. Because we don't worry about the hows. The mind wants to logic it out. We just have to get into this place of trust that all is well. This is our miracle maker right here in your heart. So go create those miracles. I'm here. Take good care of yourself. Bye for now.